Hello, this is John Paval with Access Arts Live, bringing you your weekend update of all the live performing arts that we could find for you this weekend for your viewing pleasure. And we have a whole set of them. We've got the Bowdoin International Music Festival. We've got the end of the Seattle Chamber Music Festival. We have the beginning of the Australian Festival of Chamber Music. And we will have a digital concert, stage plus concert from the Verbier Music Festival in Switzerland. That'll be on Monday, but we include it here because if we wait until the Monday roundup to tell you about it, you won't hear about it until just before it's starting on Monday. So we've got that all together for you, and we're very excited about it because we've got great stuff here. So let's start out with I'm going to give you all of them in chronological order, one after the other. So the first coming up in chronological order is from the Bowdoin International Music Festival. They bring in all kinds of very high quality soloists. And I'm going to spend some time talking about just one of the pieces that they're going to be doing in this concert today on Friday, because it just strikes me as just so interesting and so illustrative of the kind of high quality soloists they bring in, the kind of interesting music. And it's free of charge. So it's at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which will be 4:30 in the afternoon on the West Coast, 1:30 a.m. in Europe. If you want to stay up late on a Friday night, I always do. I'm nocturnal. And at 9:30 in the morning, down under in Australia, Saturday morning. So, and we're going to give you the link to it, and the cost is free of charge. We'll also give you a link to their extensive, detailed program notes, which tell you everything you want to know and maybe more than you want to know or need to know. They'll be doing a Mozart Piano Quartet No. 1 in G minor. They will be doing a Brahms String Sextet No. 2 in G major. And then between the two, this is the piece I want to tell you about. Now, it was composed by Jocelyn Morlock for cello and harp in 2011. It's called Three Meditations on Light. And it's in three parts. The first part is the birds breathe the morning light. Birds breathe the morning light. 2, bioluminescence, the wine dark sea. That reminds me of something from classical references, the way they would describe the sea in Homer, for instance. And 3, absence of light, gradual reawakening. I want to read you what Jocelyn Morlock said about this piece. She said, Three Meditations on Light was inspired by various conceptions of light and sun. In ancient Egyptian culture, it was believed that each night the sun god, Ra, made a heroic journey and fought a nocturnal battle in order to rise again in the morning. I love the idea that the sunrise is not a given, that each new day is miraculous. I love that too, because personally, I think that everything is created every second, every moment, less than every moment, like every moment it needs to be recreated. It's not just like the world was created at one moment. I think that if you really look at it closely, there is no scientific reason why the universe has to exist a moment from now. It's being recreated as we speak. Anyway, now let me tell you about the cellist and the harpist. The harpist is June Han. June Han is top of the level international harpist. She's been teaching at Juilliard pre-college since 2007. She teaches at the Yale School of Music and at Columbia University. She's in a number of ensembles, the Ensemble Sospeso, the Sequitur Ensemble, the Ensemble 21, if you're into that and you know these. She's worked with the Orchestre de Paris, with the Kirov Opera Orchestra, with the Symphony Orchestra of Basel, New York City Opera, and also plays all the time with the New York Phil. So, you know, how does somebody get better than that? And so this is a terrific harpist. And then the cellist is Denise Jokic, who's Canadian-American. She has been named one of the top 25 Canadians who are changing the world by Maclean's magazine in Canada, and one of Canada's most powerful women by Elle magazine in Canada. She's on the faculty at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. She's performed with all the top orchestras in Canada, from Vancouver to Calgary to Edmonton to the Montreal's Orchestre Métropolitain. And she hasn't, her bio doesn't show that she's worked with all these international orchestras the way June Han has, but she's worked with all these regional orchestras across the U.S. North Carolina Symphony, the Buffalo Philharmonic, Portland, Omaha, Syracuse, Charlottesville, etc. So, you know, I think that one piece, 3 Meditations on Light, is worth tuning in to that free YouTube concert. Again, 7:30 Friday evening Eastern Daylight Time, 4:30 on the West Coast, 1:30 in the morning on the in Europe, and 9:30 in the morning Saturday in Australia. And if you tune in, if they have the comment section open on YouTube, they don't always, but when they do, Access Arts Live will be there under the name EU Arts Live, and we invite you, come on, join in, and we'll have a chat while we're listening to the music. It's like being able to whisper at a concert with nobody being able to listen to you. Sometimes live streams, if it's quality, it can do more for you than actually being there in person, if they're recreating the immersive quality of the experience. And we'll talk about that some other time in another TikTok video or something. Now, then at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 3 hours later, 10:30 in the evening on the East Coast, 4:30 in the morning in Europe. I don't think anybody's going to get up for that, but 12:30 in the morning in Australia. These things get confused in my head too, so you're not alone. Anyway, it's the last performance at the Seattle Chamber Music Festival from the 1st to the 26th of July. They're putting on 2 or 3 live streams every week. It's just phenomenal. Now, they're a little expensive. This last concert will cost what the others did. It's $30 for the one live stream, or 28 euros. But it's always very high quality work by top soloists who are members of ensembles or teachers at places like Juilliard. This concert will be very chamber music-ish. Ravel's Violin Sonata in number 2 in G major, Joaquin Turina's Piano Quartet in A minor. There were a number of pieces by Turina that they played during this festival. And then the very chamber music-ish. It's Mozart's Divertimento in E flat major, Kerschel number 563, for those who are keeping track of the numbers. So that's that. And from the bottom of our hearts, if anybody from the Seattle Chamber Music Festival ever sees this live stream or this video, thank you so much for sharing with the whole world. Now, let's talk about the Australian Online Concert Hall, which is live streaming the Australian Festival of Chamber Music this weekend. All of the concerts will be on the Australian Online Concert Hall. It's the Australian Digital Concert Hall.com. I encourage you to look it up, because they do about 20 live streams per month, and you can subscribe to that channel for 50 Australian dollars per month, which is about 33 US dollars or 31. Now, if you calculate that out for the 20 live streams they do each month, that's about $1.50 or €1.50 per concert, which is, basically free, less than you pay for a candy bar these days. So you might want to check that out, Australian Digital Concert Hall. And let me double check what that address is. Do I have it here? I must have it somewhere. I have it in my computer. I want to make sure I'm giving you the right one and I not get confused. Yeah, it's the Australian Digital Concert Hall, all one word, .com. Check it out. Okay. They have 2 concerts, and if you just log on to the links that we give you and just want to buy one concert, it's 25 Australian dollars, which is 16 US dollars or 15 euros. There are 2 concerts on Saturday. The first is at 10 in the morning Australian time. That would be 2 in the morning in Europe, 8 in the evening this Friday evening on the East Coast, and 5 in the evening on the West Coast. Perfectly watchable times. And it's a talk and play concert. It's the Goldner Quartet, which is a they've been playing at this festival for years. They're going to be talking about the pieces they love the best and playing extracts from them. It will include some Schubert, some Beethoven, and some Borodin. Then in the evening, at 7:30 in the evening, Australian time, which then will be 11:30 in the morning, Central European time, much more watchable on the East Coast, probably an unwatchable 5:30 and 2:30 in the morning on the East and West Coast of the U.S. They do the Governor's Gala, which is entitled Angels and Demons this year. It opens with pieces by festival musicians, Timothy Constable. He's a percussionist who's been playing in a lot of who plays in some of the other ensemble pieces in this festival called The Last Shaman. A piece by Brett Dean, another festival musician, called Voices of Angels. And then they do La Danse de la Sorcière, the Witch's Dance, by the Franco-Polish and also Jewish composer Alexandre Tansman. In the second half, they'll be doing Berlioz, extracts from the Damnation of Faust, and they'll finish with Stravinsky's arrangement of the Rite of Spring for four hands, two pianists, with Amandine Savary of France and Itamar Golin, or Golan or Golan, as in Golan Heights of Israel. So that's what you have on Saturday that we can offer to you. Then on Sunday, they finish up the Australian Festival of Chamber Music with an all Schubert program, which they call a Schubertiade. It's at 7 in the evening in Australia, 11 in the morning in Europe, and again, these unwatchable 5 and 2 a.m. in the mornings in the U.S. The first half is a new arrangement of Die Schöne Mullerin by Roderick Williams. His baritone. He's the one who was singing the extracts from the Damnation of Faust in Berlioz on Saturday evening in Australia. And he has rescored the thing, not for piano, but for cello, viola, and 2 violins. So go figure. I've never heard it done that way. And then the second half is a very traditional but similar instruments, Schubert's Quintet in C major for 2 violins, viola, and 2 cellos. And maybe that's where Roderick Williams got the idea. I don't know. So that's the finishing up on Sunday is the Australian Festival of Chamber Music. Really interesting stuff along the way. Okay, then on Sunday, another Bowdoin International Music Festival selection. They're doing Beethoven, Chopin, and Brahms. They'll be played by John Nakamatsu and members of the Ying Quartet. Okay, so they'll be doing Beethoven. It starts out with John Nakamatsu doing Beethoven's Piano Sonata number 15 in D major called the Pastoral. Opus 28, if you're trying to dig it up, and that helps you. Then he will play Chopin's Fantasy in F minor, Opus 49. And then he will play a Brahms Piano Quartet, number 1 in G minor, and Opus 25. And this is the one in which the members of the Ying Quartet get involved. And this is, again, another selection. I want to tell you about it in a little more detail. Now, Nakamatsu is an intriguing guy. He won the Van Cliburn piano competition gold medal in 1997 and skyrocketed to fame. He was the first American to do so since 1981, so it was a big deal. He's been touring for 3 decades, but he has not always been very actively touring. He seemed to have sort of faded away and then gotten really active in the last 5 or 6 years, from what I can tell on the extensive program notes. He's been a guest soloist with orchestras all over the world, from Baltimore to Berlin to Detroit to Florence to San Francisco to Vancouver. I mean, you name it. He's played with everybody. He has done recitals at Carnegie Hall, at the Kennedy Center, at the Musée d'Orsay, and the Châtelet Théâtre in Paris, where actually I performed once in a lavish production of Kiss Me Kate. I played the senator guy who was like the fiance of the lead girl. And he's played at Aspen, Tanglewood, Ravinia, etc. So he's also an artistic director of the Cape Cod Chamber Music Festival since 2007, where he's teamed up with clarinetist John Manassi, and Manassi and Nakamatsu are a duo. So they go around playing chamber music duos all the time. And he's also played with the Ying String Quartet. He's got 13 CDs out on the Harmonia label. He got 800,000 hits on YouTube for his recording of Schumann's Second Piano Sonata. But you know what's really cool about him is he went to one of my schools, Stanford. He's got a BA and MA in German studies from Stanford, and he's on the faculty now at the San Francisco Conservatory of Music. I think he's going to play the hell out of that piano quartet, frankly, and with the Ying Quartet working with him. The Ying Quartet is like they've been around for like 3 decades too. They play all over the place. They play in elevated circumstances, but they also like to play in workplaces, schools, juvenile prisons. Played at the White House. They also have a project called Life Music, where they commission composers to write new pieces for the string quartet repertoire. And I have a list of some things we may be familiar with them. I don't know. Billy Child's Awakening, Lyra Auerbach's Sylvia's Diary, Loa Lieberman's String Quartet No. 3 to the Victims of War, Sebastian Courier's Next Atlantis, and John Novacek's 3 Rags for String Quartet. I mean, it's free of charge. Why would you not tune in if it's time available for you to hear this? And again, the times are going to be Sunday at 2 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, 11 in the morning on the West Coast, and 8 in the evening in Europe. And I strongly encourage you to come and check out John Nakamatsu and the Ying Quartet members in that third piece, if only for that. Anyway, I won't talk as long about them the next time that they come up, possibly, but I just was so impressed by the quality of what they're doing at the Bowdoin Music Festival. I really wanted to go into a little more depth with those 2 pieces. Then also on Monday night, Stage Plus is back. I'm reminding you of their terrific Stage Plus deal, €1 for all of their live streams in July and August. And they're back at the Verbier Festival. Last week, they were at the Beirut Festival. Last Thursday, giving you the latest new production of, what was it? I have to look it back up in my old notes. And I don't have it right in front of me, so I'm sorry. But it was a new Wagner piece. Oh, Tristan und Isolde, with the marvelous Camilla Newland in that role. And she's supposed to be popping, as the Swedes would say. Anyway, but they're back again. I mean, that alone was worth the €1. Now they're back with a Korean superstar violinist whose name is Bomsori Kim, accompanied by Julien Quentin. This will be at 11 o'clock European time, unwatchable 5 a.m. and 2 a.m. on the East and West Coast, but 7 in the evening for those of you who may be watching from down under. She'll be doing a couple of violin sonatas by Debussy and Fauré. In between them, she'll be doing a Szymanowski violin sonata and a Nocturne in Tarantella by Szymanowski. Who is she? She's been a prize winner at both Tchaikovsky and Sibelius violin competitions. She's played with the Moscow, Montreal, Warsaw, and Finnish orchestras. You know, this is again top of the line for €1. You know, any one of these Stage Plus concerts is worth it. And they want you to subscribe for July and August, but it's 50 cents for each one. And then you can cancel at the end of August. And it's, you know, this is Deutsche Grammophon owns Stage Plus. They're not going to cheat you and not let you cancel at the end of August. So we're subscribed, and I've been following all these things, and they've had some terrific soloist and recitals, especially by pianists, 3 or 4 already, which have just knocked my socks off. Anyway, that's for this week. Thank you for tuning in. If you did tune in, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I don't goof around too much for you, or maybe you enjoy that too. As ever, I would ask you, if you like what you're seeing, please go on Facebook and follow the Access Arts Live page on Facebook. We need a few more followers there so that this live stream can be carried there on Facebook, as well as we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we are on LinkedIn, and we're on X Live. And then we are required to go just replay on Threads and on TikTok. So you can find us in all those places, but especially we want to add some more live followers on Facebook so we can live stream there. And what is our purpose? Our purpose is this. We know that there are tens of millions of people who love the performing arts online. There are viral videos of 30, 40 million people with someone singing opera or somebody doing ballet dancing. There are over 100 million views of a Vivaldi quartet online. It's out there. And some of the people we're talking about, like that one guy, it's got 800,000 views. Piano sonata. So we know the audience is out there. And if we can gather more of them together to watch these online things, then there will be more online performances. And we think that's a great thing, because sharing it online at the same time as the artists are creating it and other people are experiencing it is a beautiful moment of beauty and truth, which is not the same thing as just watching some recording on demand where the artists, they're gone. They've gone fishing or they're dead or whatever. When the other audience, there's nobody there. We're just atomized. Everybody's separate. The performing arts have always served to bring people together in the same moment of inspiration and being uplifted. So there, I've gone 20 minutes today. I hope that's okay with you. It's perfectly okay with me. And we'll be back on Monday at the same time slot, 6 in the evening in Europe, noon on the East Coast, and 9 in the morning on the West Coast. So you can count on me to be there live and telling you. Next on Mondays, we do the roundup for the whole week, and then we come back on Friday to make sure that we remind you about the more intensive live streams that are going on the weekend. And there's going to be all kinds of stuff this coming week. So you don't want to miss us on Monday either, because there's going to be several Bowdoin festival live streams and other things besides that, organ recitals coming up. We got it all. You don't have to go searching for it. Come to us, and we'll do it for you. Ciao for now. Have a great weekend and enjoy these live streams. And if you come to the YouTube live streams, say hello to me in the comment section as EU Arts Live.